this video we will try to do an animation by moving the camera. So why is it important? So say for example, if if you want, this is the scene. Okay, so we have a torus and we have one cube, and we want to give an effect where in which the object the end user or the player who is trying to go through a game, he wants to jump through this hoop and then reach the box. Okay, so these kind of effects are a little trickier. You cannot do just by moving objects. Say for example, we can try to do that by this. What happens is like you have the objects appear as if this one. So you can see that the camera is stationary and this object is stationary. Only the cube moved, and this will not give the actual effect what we are looking for. So for that, we should be able to move the camera through the hoop so that the end user or the player who is playing your game will get that effect. So in today's lesson, let us try to understand how we can achieve such an effect. So let me move this back to where it belongs. So I just have it here. So as you can see, these are some basics which we have covered in our previous lessons. We created some torus node, and then we created the box node, and then we rotated the torus by 90 degree in the x-axis so that the hole will be visible, and then we have positioned both the box and the torus on the same level, and but the box is like 5 units behind the torus. So that is why we are able to see this particular green box in the middle of the torus hole. Okay, so now let us see how to get that effect. For that, we need to have first camera object as usual. So anything which comes in a SceneKit is a node. So we need to create a camera node. So let us create a camera node first. Let it be scene node, and then on this node we need to camera node. There is an option called camera, so we can create a camera object on that. So let us create the camera object. So now if you try to do, you have the camera object but nothing changed. That is basically because again you need to attach the camera node object what you have created into this particular scene. How are we going to do that? So it's again same thing, scene. We need to attach the camera into the this one into the scene node. So add child node. So and then we add the camera node. But this again is not sufficient. Say for example, you have multiple cameras, and by default it is the scene view is using one camera. But we need to tell that to use the camera what we are intended to use. So that we need to tell that by assigning this particular camera node into the point of view option in the scene. So scene has something called point of view. So if you look at that, it is to get the documentation, it says that use a node with a SCN camera node, and that is basically a node, and it is asking us to use the SCN camera node. Okay, and then we can make the z near, z far properties we can set. All those things are little out of the scope for this session. Maybe I have some plans to do some more detailed this one detailed course on that course of videos. Maybe I'll try to explain them in much in detail in that. But for now, we just need to understand that point of view expects some optional node. In that, in this case, we are going to attach the point of view for this our camera node what we have created. So now we have our camera node attached. So say for example, you have a single player game, and your role play game is there, and whether you want where you want to have the camera and which angle you want to view. Say for example, you are building a car game. Either you want the driver to have the experience of sitting in front of the steering wheel and get the view of the scene, or stay outside the car and get the view from the outside. So all these things you can change by just changing the point of view of your camera. So in this case we are changing that to here. So let us see what happens. Okay, so now we don't see the torus and we see only the camera. That is because our camera node is sitting right in the position of where the torus was. So that is why we are not seeing that. So let us bring our camera one unit out. So again, the camera node we need to position it in such a way that it is one unit outside the this in the z direction. So that brings us back to this. Just a minute. Let us give 5 units, for example. Okay, so yeah, so now if you see, we have our camera, which is 5 units uh, uh, in front of the torus. So that is why we are able to see. If you see, if you vary the value a bit, you will see that camera is coming closer and the torus looks bigger in the scene. So yeah, these are the kind of things which we can do. So now we want to animate it in such a way that we want to bring the position of the camera in between the torus and the green cube what we have, but we also want to uh, go through this particular hole of the torus. So let us see how to do that. So what we can do is initially we set this position, so let us copy that position, and we want to go to the position where this particular box is one unit before that. So we know that box is positioned at -5 unit, so let us copy that, and if we want the camera to go all the way there, what we can do is like we just give -3 as this one. So currently when the scene starts, the camera will be in 3 units before this one, and within 5 seconds the camera will go from in the z direction from +3 to -3. So that gives us an effect of going through the hole and then going and reaching that particular box. So now the camera is positioned in the total scene. The camera is positioned like -3 units, that is 2 units ahead of, because box is positioned at this location, and the camera now is, when this animation ends, it is positioned at this one. So now the camera is like 2 units before the before the green box. So that is why we are getting this particular animation. Let us run that again to see that. Uh, yeah, so what is, if you see that some clipping is happening. So when we cross the torus, at that time some clipping is happening, which is not desired effect what I'm looking at. So maybe I want to scale my camera a bit down. So again, if you see this one, there's a property called scale, and if you see the command click option, you will see that again the scale is nothing but SCN vector. So that means we can use the same scaling effect on the camera node. So what we can do is let us scale it by half. So let us say 0.5 for x and 0.5 for y and 0.5 for this one for the z. So let us scale to the half the value. So we still see that. So we just need to play around with this particular value on the scaling aspect to get the desired results what we are looking for. So yeah, still not completely okay. So let us change the value by some more this one. Yeah, this is somewhat better, but still it can be improved, maybe 0.09. Yeah, you just need to play around these values to get the desired effect what we are looking for. So yeah, so still in the edge it is there, but the problem is it is still there, but for now, for this demo, it is okay. So we can also rotate the camera, so in the sense like while scaling we can also rotate the camera, all those things we can do. So sorry, there's a typo here. Okay, so one last try. Okay, yeah, so now we have got this. So at the same time we can also rotate the camera as when you're moving in from one position to other position. We can also rotate the camera. Again, you can use the same Euler angle, SCN vectors. So are we using anything? No, let me, yeah, we have here. So Control C, let me copy the same Euler angle and try to apply it and see how this particular effect looks. So if you see, we are rotating the camera, and then the camera is going over, so maybe that is not the effect what I want. Let us see how it looks if I rotate it around the y-axis by 90 degree. Okay, so if you can see that the camera is moving while traversing from the center. It is going and rotating in this y direction 90 degree, and then going into this yz plane. So that is how the rotation is happening. So instead of that, let us do one thing. Let us comment the other animations and only do the 360-degree rotation around the y-axis and see how does that look. So yeah, as you can see, the camera in the current position, it rotated 360 degrees, and then the torus and the cube disappeared, and then it started appearing again from the left hand side. So that is what is basically the 360 degree rotation, how it is happening. So let us run it once again um, to visualize it, to better understand how it is going. So yeah, the camera is there, and then it went on within 5 seconds the rotation happened, and then the camera came back to the same position. So this is one more thing which you need to see. Say for example, if I had some other objects this side, okay, which was clipped. So when you're rotating the camera, you might see that value. So let us see. Let us add one more node. Let us add one more box in this one, and then see how does that work. How does that look? Whether our new box will come into picture or not. So for that, let me add one more box into the scene. Let me call it box node 1 and change all this property just to visualize it better. Let me give a red color to that, and let me add that into the scene as well. So okay, and then I just need to position that box node in some x direction. So let me put it like 10 units to the right of the so yeah, let us see how does that look. Yeah, if you see that yeah, you see that the box also came in, and also the green box was also there, and the red box. So just a minute, let us play around a bit with this value. Let us say -10 and see how does that look. Okay, so box node 1, yeah, this was the mistake which I was doing. Okay, yeah, so if you see there, there are two red boxes, there are two boxes, but in the first frame it is not visible, but when you do the animation, when we run the animation, when the camera is rotating, you can see that the second object is visible, the second red box is visible. So that is what I was trying to highlight, in the sense like when you have multiple objects and on the camera it is not visible, but when you rotate the camera those objects will be visible. So that means the objects which are behind on the side of the frame where it is not visible, when you rotate the camera those objects will be visible. So that is one very nice thing. And also one thing to notice is like you can't take one camera point from here and suddenly jump. So that is physically impossible, right? Like that is how it will be. Like when you rotate a particular angle, all the objects visible in that particular region, everything will be visible. If it is there, it will be visible. So that is how it is. So if you want some character to come alive in that particular angle, you need to, when the camera angle is set to some angle, and you need to make it visible, set the visible property to visible, and make it visible. So like that you need to animate your characters. So yeah, this is some of the basics. I know it went a little longer than what I anticipated, but yeah, this is how you basically animate the camera, and how to position the camera, and how you will be able to animate your characters and the scene in a much better way just by moving around the camera. So yeah, thanks for watching, and if you like such videos, please do hit the like button, and also I would encourage you to subscribe, so that you can that will also encourage me to create such nice contents if you are willing to watch such kind of videos. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.